Jim, I want to thank you for speaking with WhargarblTV today. What you have already brought this up in your panel, but how have you gotten started in your career?
You know, it's interesting. Well, there's a couple parts to it. After I graduated from USC, I was assistant to Hans Zimmer for 2 years. Starting my first movie was Gladiator. After doing that, I stopped working there. I actually quit and I gave him 6 weeks notice, and then I came back 3 days later after I finished, and he said, "Hey, do you want to work on the Time Machine?" I said, "Sure." So I came back and then did that, and then Black Hawk Down, and I started working on his movies more and learning what I needed to do. In addition to the musicianship, it's like I needed to have the technological background and understanding and get it to that point where it's transparent. So then the music would come straight through, and the technology wasn't a hindrance. It was an extension. So that essentially was what really got me my big breaks in my career.
Okay. You had just said that you had been an assistant for Hans Zimmer. I personally am a huge fan of his. I'm even before he did Batman Begins, like all of that. But how did you manage to like land that position, man?
No, it's a good question. My short answer is that I would do anything musically and work for any composer. I got a hold of one composer in LA, and I was caulking his ceilings and also cold calling the Hollywood Reporter trying to get him work. But on that way to that job that paid $7, I worked 7 hours, $10 an hour. That was my weekly salary, was $70 a week. That's what I lived on. But on my way to that job, I ran into a friend of mine who was an engineer. He engineered all my short films in college at USC. And his name is Steve Kaplan. He's my engineer on Pushing Daisies. He engineers everything I do.
Yeah.
And he was on his way to a gig. We just met on the street. And we exchanged current information. The next week, he got asked to be Hans Zimmer's assistant. And he said, I don't want to do that. But I know a guy. And I have his current contact information. So that got me on the interview line. But a friend of mine that I went to NYU with, Todd Haberman, he used to work for Roy Hay and PJ Hankey, who used to work with Hans. So he put a call and got me to the head of the interview line.
All right.
Then I just had to study in line.
Okay.
And pretend that I really knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
Later on, I did actually talk with Hans about this. I said, I didn't know what I said I knew. And he's like, well, that's not he's like, of course I knew. But he's like, I don't have a problem with people who don't know, just with people who can't learn.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah, because I'm sure that this is a very, very tough business to get into.
Yeah,
and it's not something that anybody can just do. But what would be your best suggestion for people who are just starting out? They're either toying around with some computer software program or whatever. What would be your best advice?
I would say watch a professional.
Okay.
Intern and be around it.
All right.
Watch people do it. It's like, don't be isolated. I'd say to know your own weaknesses, admit them, and go study. Go learn from other people that are doing it.
Okay.
That's where you see the pros really do their thing. It's like, to watch Hans sequence, it's a master class. It's better than going to graduate school. For that's what you need to be out there and be part of. But in order to get into those positions, you need to have experience, and the experience required is to go and just be around it. If you need to go make coffee, then you do that. Any gig that anything I've ever done in the entertainment industry, from picking up Hans's kids or something or polishing his the monitors in the morning. It's like I was never ashamed of anything. I did them with pride because I was happy to be there.
I gotcha.
And then 2 weeks later, I'm doing an arrangement for Pavarotti. It's only because you care about everything seriously.
I gotcha.
So I would recommend take everything seriously and really take pride in it.
Okay. Might ask a question during the panel, and it was something like the toughest thing about working in the business, and I believe it was you that said people.
Nathan also.
Yes. Nathan said that as well, and it was you or Nathan that brought up that there was a problem where like you had not received an inch of the.
That's right. I never received the pilot, but I was getting criticized for the music that I hadn't written yet.
I kind of heard a similar story years back because I'm a fan of John Williams and he had worked on a movie called Hook.
I loved Hook.
Yeah.
I know that score back.
Yeah. But he had said that he was in the same situation kind of because like he hadn't seen an inch of film, and he was working very hard with like a TriStar and like all of that. So I guess when you're in that sort of situation, I guess it's just patience and like people skills, you say.
You know what makes it work for me? It's like, it's not the years, it's the mileage.
Right.
The many years working in this industry, and I'm a young guy. I don't have as many years as most guys in this industry. I'm much more comfortable now taking criticism and the absurdity with sometimes in the situations that I'm asked to write music. It's like, everything's going to change. And I got called to do a pilot the other day, and it's like, and the post supervisor was, I don't know, maybe he didn't check my credit list. And he's like, so on pilots, I'm like, right, there is a chance that the schedule is going to change. I'm like, there's a chance. Like, I know it's going to change. So like ordinarily, like I'd be like, are you kidding me? It's like, it's fine. Music it'll get there when you want it, and we'll be fine. So there's no use getting upset about it.
Okay. I'll like to make this my last question because I'm sure you're pressed for a time. But your current show is Pushing Daisies, correct?
Well, Pushing Daisies has been off the air for a couple
years.
Yeah.
But that's like your most recent work, correct?
Well, I had a movie that just finished called Carmel by the Sea. The soundtrack, we just released it.
Okay.
With Hayden Panettiere, Alfred Molina, and Lauren Bacall.
Okay.
Epic Mickey came out in November.
Right.
So that soundtrack is out as well. And I'm doing, I have a TV series on FX that I'm doing right now called Wilfred with Elijah Wood and Jason Gand. That's we have 13 episodes of that coming up as well. I'm doing a new show for Warner Brothers called Poe.
Okay. Then that kind of messed my question. But
I'm sorry.
okay. No. I love it.
There's a lot of people who don't think that I haven't done anything since Pushing Daisies as well.
Yeah, I know. What has been like a difficult problem or problems you have come across with Pushing Daisies, or has everything been all right?
Pushing Daisies, the challenge was to be that creative because the team I had to work with Brian Fuller, Barry Sonnenfeld, it's like Kristen Chenoweth, Ellen Green, like these talents are absolutely at the pinnacle of their careers. I mean, I have to play that A game, but also I have to do it under amazing time constraints. But it doesn't mean the quality can suffer. There's no forgiveness. It's like it's got to be there. So just to make it as detailed as the score is, as detailed as I feel that the score is anyway. And how dynamic it is, and how it does reinvent itself through each episode. To do that every 6 days was the challenge in itself.
Okay, all right. Well, I think I've taken enough of your time, man. Thank you. It's been a huge honor. I really appreciate your time.
No, anytime. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.